Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Ira coming to you with another video, and this one is something quite special because we have a rare message on Spectrum from Richard Trier, who is in charge of creating Squadron 42 and also the PU at the same time. He is basically CIG's number 2 below Chris Roberts when it comes to creating or game universes, so that's really one of the most important people at CIG here who is talking to us on Spectrum. And he also presented, of course, the panel at SeasonCon for Squadron 42 and a couple of other panels regarding the future of the verse. And here Richard Trier is telling us about a concern. I mean, he's trying to address a concern that we have seen a lot on Spectrum following CitizenCon, which is here: what are solo players going to do in the verse, especially when it comes to the vision of Star Citizen version 1.0? Because it's true that at CitizenCon we have seen a lot of new features coming for orgs. We have seen a lot of new features coming for large groups of players, player bases, player cities, players industrial centers, and of course player bases, player instances that you're not going to be able to solo. Monsters in the game that you're also not going to be able to solo. But what about solo players, right? The players who just have a couple of hours a week scattered around a couple of days. That's my case, for example. I'm a very busy man, I'm a family man, I'm a husband, I have a lot of responsibilities in my work as well. I don't have a lot of time to play the game, especially if I'm making videos on top of that, right? So what is the plan for these players? Well, Richard Trier gave us a little bit of information here, and he's apologizing for the slow response. Richard, that's totally okay. We understand you are a busy man if you're watching this video, so that's totally, already I think we all appreciate that you are taking the time to answer our concerns here on Spectrum. He said that he had an unsurprisingly busy post-SeasonCon activities here. That's of course right, with the 4.0 and Q1 initiatives. We totally understand that. Then Richard is trying to reassure us about AI blades. It's true that there's been a lot of talk about the lack of NPCs, right? We haven't seen NPCs doing anything at SeasonCon. We haven't seen StarSim, although StarSim was mentioned, but we haven't seen it in action. And that's kind of a concern for a lot of people, right? Because if we have this whole universe where there's going to be this huge sandbox, but NPCs are not doing anything, it's all going to be player driven, and that can cause some concerns. What if players are not there anymore? What if we are in areas where there are no players, right? What if players control the verse at the expense of other players? This is where NPCs might be rebalancing all of that. Remember, guys, that at some point there were even talks of having a ratio of 9 NPCs for 1 player. So this is something that once again has not been addressed. Hopefully we'll be seeing that at next year's SeasonCon. But one solution to address the issue and to perhaps help solo players who don't have time to group up with other players, who don't have friends. Not everybody is very sociable, right? Well, one of these solutions is AI blades. Basically, these are computers that you're going to be installing inside your ships that are going to replace in some sort of capacity crew members, whether these are human players or in the future NPC players. Yes, NPC will be able to crew your ship in the player. It's still part of the plan, but as Richard says here, it's not going to be in 1.0. That is going to be a post 1.0 plan, which of course is going to come as a disappointment for a lot of players, but it's also a lot of work. I suppose that they perhaps want to see how server meshing is working when it comes to its dynamic phase, and also with all of the features that are going to be released with 1.0. So, however, one feature that is planned for 1.0 is AI blades. Yes, it is still part of it, it's just that they did not show it yet. Richard also told us that AI blades would not be as effective as other players, and will take additional power to run. That's really interesting here. Let's say, for example, you've got your AI blades, they are shooting at enemies, right? They are using the turrets of your ship, but for some reason you want to run. Maybe you want to shut down your AI blades so you can have more power onto your engines or for your shields, and then you make a run for it. I like the idea of managing your power, which may or may not shut down your AI blades. That's actually really good here. So Richard concludes by telling us that the presentation for during Season Con, when it came to the Star Citizen universe, meant to cater to all players, and that also includes solo player. Yeah, it's true that a lot of the items that we have seen, crafting, solo players will be able to craft. Base building, solo players will be able to have solo bases as well, but not everything, of course, was catered toward solo player, which is why I believe that there's always concern on Spectrum. Right? If you're looking for drama, Spectrum is the way to go. That's also something that I would add, perhaps, to counterweight all of the drama and the complaints that we see here for Season Con. As far as I'm concerned, I was very happy with Season Con, even though I am a solo player myself. But I can understand that if you're not following Star Citizen news on a daily basis, and really if you're not close to everything that's going on here with Star Citizen, I understand that there could have been some concern. Anyway, huge shout out to Richard right here for taking his time to speak to us on Spectrum. That's awesome, and hopefully we'll get to see more of NPC blades in the future, maybe next year Season Con. That would be a great panel, right? Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. That's the end of this video. I wouldn't be able to make all of the video without my Patreon and YouTube members, including Dr. Forbid, Zio Kosha, Deportfield, the Key to Docker, and Shadow Rise. I have been Rad, and I'll see you guys in the next one.